Okay, and it's now 20 minutes to 9 p.m. and welcome back. And yeah, we are back here. And before we go on with the competition that's going to happen in a couple of moments or so, we're continuing with the sports topic. And we're talking about Premier League football, the action this weekend. Obviously, massive game, the Merseyside
Mhm.
derby. And earlier on in the week, Premier League clubs have unanimously announced and agreed on Wednesday to reject radical project Big Picture. Okay, the plan to restructure the English football as it stands, and under the controversial proposals, the number of teams in the Premier League would have been cut from 20 to 18,
Mhm.
and the League Cup would be scrapped as well. Right now, more power would have been handed to the bigger clubs in the top flight in exchange for a rescue package and greater share of broadcast revenues for the English Football League as well. Now, this brings a lot of talking points and questions and debate because
Mm.
we saw comments from Manchester United and Liverpool's remarks being pro for the project Big Picture. Other smaller clubs, maybe like Fulham, Brighton, and Hove Albion, might feel dejected about that. And
Mm.
the league being cut from 20 to 18 teams, a lot of talking points, Thakib?
Yeah, definitely a lot of talking points, and I think certainly that this is the Premier League, so there's no big game, there's no small game. Every game you can expect the unexpected.
And the clubs are in the top flight. So obviously there is, okay, we know there's
Mm.
big clubs, but surely you're making it into the Premier League. So they should be the big clubs, you
Most
know?
definitely. But I mean, that's it from us presenters. We've got Maulana Patel that
Yes.
will be telling us more about the Premier League and what you can expect in this weekend's fixtures and explaining in depth to us the project big picture. Maulana, thank you for joining us this evening. It's a massive weekend for Premier League. We're back after the international break. What do you make of the international break?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan for the opportunity. I always tell the learners at the school that, when the international break comes, it's like boring because you look forward to Saturday's football or Sunday football or Monday or whatever it might be. But when this international break comes along, very few of the learners, even myself, we don't really worry what is happening, whether it's England, whether it's Portugal, Denmark, whoever's playing. So we're looking forward to this
Yolanda.
weekend because really we look at the
Yeah.
lineup, it's a massive, massive weekend. And to start off the weekend, we got Everton and Liverpool, Merseyside derby. So
Yeah.
let's see what happens there. I just hope for the sake of Liverpool fans that they might can pull up a victory. And for Everton, I wish them all the luck because really they're doing so well this season. They're right on top of the pile.
Look, and on that point, Molana, they playing attractive football. That's the thing. Under Carlo Ancelotti's mentorship now and under his managerial role here, we're seeing the change. I mean, we're seeing a totally different Everton here. Yes, we've seen, James Rodriguez come in, few more new faces have come in, but the way they're gelling, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the way that boy has evolved under Carlo Ancelotti, he's made him into a poacher, at goal.
And I think for some, you might feel that Everton would be a notch ahead of Liverpool coming into this fixture because they've gelled and they're currently sitting comfortably top of the table, where Liverpool have taken a couple of knocks early in the season. Milano, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that Liverpool could possibly cause we'll say this season we could call it an upset, but in the past we'd know that Liverpool would probably win comfortably come the Merseyside derby?
Yes, definitely. In normal circumstances, we would say Liverpool would win it because they are, over the past many years, they have been winning Everton. And this one year, I think Everton have a upper hand. Like we said, that the players are gelling well and the coach is doing extremely well with the players as well. But then, sometimes what happens when the international break comes along, if the whole mood or they've been consistent right through, and then
Yeah.
come the international break and everything goes haywire again. But let's see what happens. And I think I just feel that Everton might just have it, to win tomorrow. And because of their playing so attractive football and they're doing so well, I think they won ahead of Liverpool for tomorrow's game.
this brings another talking point. And, a few weeks ago, we were watching PSL action prior to obviously the league and everything ending. And I was watching this thing during the lockdown where they had the sound effects. And I was still asking the question. It sounds like FIFA, because you got the sound of like our PSL, the vuvuzelas, then people are whistling, but nobody in the crowd. Do you think the lack of fans in the stadiums is affecting bigger teams, morale, players? I mean, Zakir, Monana, what do you guys think? I mean, surely the lack of fans, I think, is affecting the, the mentality of these players, because yes, okay, there is that sound effect, but you're not seeing people, you're not used to this. It's like just like playing on a training pitch.
Absolutely, you 100%. Whenever we used to play football in school or in the madrasa, if there were fans there, we shining, and if there's no fans there, you just playing for the sake of playing. So some of the players, I think they might be feeling the same. There's no atmosphere there, and maybe clubs like, I don't know, maybe United, few other ones that are not doing too well. Maybe that can be the reason. I'm not too sure. We know with regards to United, things are not going well. We don't know what can be the issues there. But I'm just thinking now that we're mentioning about this, that could be a reason, because when United have their fans there, they're going crazy and they're playing excellent football as well. So this can be also a problem for United as well as other football teams, the smaller teams, because when they play at home and they got their fans there, they really shine and they do well. So I think it is a great impact on the players when they're playing football without the fans there.
No, definitely. And I think it does make a difference. If you look at your bigger teams, I would say that this is working in the favor of the smaller teams, because if you look this weekend, you've got Leeds United taking on Wolves. And Leeds have been having a massive season. Their opener, they took Liverpool right to the 90th minute, and then they just fell short. Liverpool's class just being too much for them on the day. And then in their second game, the Leeds were just as good. So let's see how they can come back after this international break. Balana, we've got a big one tomorrow evening at 6:30 kickoff. You've got Manchester City taking on Arsenal. Manchester City has been having a bit of a bumpy start to the season, where Arsenal have been high flying all the way. What do you make of this fixture, and who are some of the players that you think could have a direct impact on the result of this match?
Yeah, definitely. This 6:30 kickoff is a massive one as well. And if you compare the two teams, at the moment, City is at the bottom, and Arsenal really playing excellent football. And if you look at guys like Aubameyang, I think he's going to be shining tomorrow. And if Aguero, I think he might be coming back for tomorrow's game after the injury. So he's one of the players to look out for, as well as Raheem Sterling and De Bruyne. If these three guys, really come to the party, then you might just see an upset there for Arsenal. And I just been speaking to my learners at school, and they have said that with regards to Arsenal, with the new coach coming in, and they're really doing very well. We just have to wait and see tomorrow. But if these three guys of City gel and they really play well tomorrow, we could see them winning. But if they still not at their best, I think Arsenal will have an upper hand, and they will just cause a upset tomorrow evening.
Well, if you are a Liverpool or a Everton fan or a Manchester City fan, comment below and tell us what are some of your score predictions. What are you looking forward to? Which are some of the players you feel you'd want to have on the pitch? You can put your comments below, whether you are streaming in via YouTube, Instagram, or on the Facebook page as well, wherever you are around the country or around the globe as well. It's Friday night with ST, and Zakir and I talking to Ml Sulayman Patel. We're talking about this weekend's football action, and we want to hear from you, interact with us as well. What are you looking forward to this weekend, Zakir?
Look, definitely looking forward to the Everton-Liverpool game, first Merseyside derby for the new season.
Yeah.
Man City, Arsenal, it's a must-watch. Milana's agreed with us there. Then again, we're going to be having the London derby come Sunday. Tottenham taking on West Ham. It's going to be an interesting one. Tottenham have been the good boys for a long time, and you do know that West Ham
He's enjoying this
if you call it the thugs of football, if you want to call West Ham that. But they've
Yeah.
definitely come out and they're not going to be giving.
Well, talking
Tottenham
about
an easy
West
time.
Ham, they've got this new acquisition in signing Said Ben Rama, and he's been. I've watched him play for Brentford City. He's been fantastic on that wing. I think he's going to bring a new dimension to the squad, a new flair for the West Ham team to in their attack, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to tackle this game.
No, definitely, that's going to be quite interesting. Another interesting point, and I think Molana's been working with a lot of students. What is your take on players coming back from the international break, knowing that COVID is such a big thing out there in Europe right now? Do you think that it puts the team at risk with players coming back from the international break and then infecting your club players for that matter?
Yes, it could be because we find that, after we heard in the week that Cristiano Ronaldo had tested positive, and then all his Portuguese teammates like Bruno Fernandes and all these other guys did their tests, we found that these guys were all negative. But sometimes, you know what? They might be asymptomatic, and then it could create serious problems. Imagine those players going to different teams and then finding out later in the week or after a few days, and then that's really, becomes a problem for that team. Imagine 3-4 players and your top players not being there. Becomes very difficult, as we have seen in the past with Liverpool. Mane was positive, Shaqiri was positive, Becker was injured. Obviously, they said he's about 4 or 5 weeks he's going to be out. So it can become a serious problem, especially for the top teams like Liverpool, maybe United, and whichever other teams where their players become positive for COVID-19, and then it becomes, for them to suffer in the starting of the season, and then when you mess up in the starting, then to get back to winning ways, it becomes very, very difficult. So it is a bit scary, and maybe the teams are worried about that after coming back after the international break. So we just hope that all of them are safe and all of them are good, and they don't get the virus, and they continue playing with their teams without the worry of being positive or getting positive in the next maybe 7 or 8 days or so. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Now, apart from COVID, also I think performance and morale is important coming out of the international break, because players' performance in these international games, how they fared in the Nations League, etc., affect how they perform now coming this weekend, going back to club football, because we've seen some of these players excel. Some have really had very bad games, and some have even been sent off, so this plays on confidence, on morale, coming back to club level where they need to get back onto that level that they were. It does leave a negative impact on some of these players.
Yes, definitely. Like sometimes, what I've been noticing in the last few years, when the players play for their team, their club team in the EPL or wherever it might be, sometimes you see them suffering there. But when they go and play for their national team, there's a different player altogether, and vice versa. Now, if you look at, I give you 2 examples of 2 United players. Van de Beek, when he came on, he didn't shine too much, but he scored for his national team. And then if you look at, and if you look at Maguire, he was doing well for United, but then come playing for England, he gets a yellow card, and maybe 20-25 minutes later, he gets a second one, and it's a red card. So I just hope, when these players don't play well for their national team and then they come back for their club teams, it becomes very, very, very difficult. And on the other side, if the players do well for their national team, then that boosts their morale for their club teams this weekend, most definitely.
No, certainly. I think that it has quite a ripple effect with the guys coming back into the team, and we do know that it will be rubbing off on the other players. I mean, whether they're coming back with positivity and enthusiasm or they're coming back with a bit of a negative mindset, we never know how it will be affecting the players. But well, I think we've spoke about it too much. We have to leave it down to the players now to perform on the pitch this weekend. We're definitely looking forward to that kickoff tomorrow for the first game, Everton and Liverpool at 13:30 Central Africa time, that is. And then we've got the big one as well tomorrow evening at 6:30. We've got Man City taking on Arsenal. And then, the big one of the weekend, to end of the weekend, we have Tottenham taking on West Ham, and then finally on Monday evening we have Leeds that will be taking on Wolves. Those are some of the highlights that you can look forward to this weekend in your Premier League action. But that's it from myself and Isti.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mulana, for taking the time out of your evening, for giving us your expert analysis on what to expect in the Premier League this weekend. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, there you have it. It's now 5 minutes to 9, and that's a wrap of the sports desk with myself and Zakir. And the show is almost coming to an end. Can you believe how the time just goes by, man?
Final
Wow.
segment. I'm looking forward to it.
And it's now time for the competition. And yes, I'm looking forward to this. Ding, ding, ding. The bells are going to be ringing here. Hey, Sonic, are you ready? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm super amped and I can't wait. We'll be back after this.